Tuesday, January 10th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. A lot to discuss. We have a storm system moving through tomorrow. Big blast of colder air coming up for Friday through the weekend. And I'll spend a lot of time here talking about the longer range. A lot of folks interested in that, and it's quite a challenging outlook overall. Let's start up in the upper levels, and I'll get into the specifics of the upcoming weather here in just a couple of moments. But let's talk about some larger scale ideas. First of all, there's the upper level low sitting over Texas and Oklahoma this afternoon. This is off of the European model. That swings right into our region later tomorrow. More on that coming up. Here's a look at Friday. The trough dives in behind that departing system. After a mild day Thursday, we see the much colder air plunging in on Friday. Okay, longer range ideas. European model on the left, GFS on the right. Decent enough agreement, but still some uncertainties and some key features. Notice here on the European, though, and the GFS, you have a big block that's moved up and cut itself off around Alaska and points just west of there. And the result of that big block is very cold air. Making it down into the northern parts of North America. You can see that very clearly in the 850 millibar temperatures. This is today. And again, this is basically the temperature at 5,000 feet. I know this is probably a little tough to see on the video. There is the lower 48. There's Canada. And Alaska's right there. All right, so yeah, pretty cold air up in Canada. But let's go out to 168 hours, and there's the real deal. Very, very cold air has made it into western and central Canada by Monday of next week, and that sags on the European model into the Great Lakes in the northernmost U.S. As we get later on into next week by the 18th, 19th, 20th of January. So I think what we're looking at, again, I really don't have any big changes to my overall ideas, is we're going to see some very cold air make it into our half of the hemisphere, make it on our side of the pole. And probably on a consistent basis, we'll see that cold air take up residence over the northern part of the country. But when you have that cold air, that degree of cold air so nearby, I think inevitably we're going to see some of those blasts of cold air into the eastern parts of the country from time to time. Now, probably, unless we get the NAO to really tank toward negative, which it could, that's a possibility, we're probably not going to see a huge, sustained, week-long blast of very cold air, but I do think we're going to get these Arctic shots from time to time. And again, if you're a winter weather fan, that's not a bad look. You don't want cold just to overwhelm the pattern, then you get cold and dry. But with that very cold air nearby, I'm still liking the chances of some big Arctic high pressures maybe moving from the northern plains into the northeast. Could set up some cold air damming scenarios down the road. And again, with the battleground temperatures staying fairly close by, that means the storm track, theoretically, would stay pretty close by as well. Now, a lot of excitement yesterday from some folks as we saw the GFS model for really a few runs in a row pop a little system that brought some snow to the southeast. This was a look from the 18Z GFS yesterday. This was valid Sunday, and yeah, I put down a pretty good little shot of snow from North Mississippi, Alabama, into Tennessee, northernmost Georgia, and into parts of especially North Carolina. That was probably an unlikely scenario. The GFS did not have very good agreement even amongst its own ensembles, and sure enough, with the 0Z run, it's a much different scenario. We're looking at the same time frame here, the Sunday, the 18Z run of the GFS compared to the 0Z. Much different scenario. And the result is no winter storm on the 0Z run, at least for most of us. More on that in a second. There's a look at the radar this morning. A lot of rain spreading our way. We'll eke out a dry day today with highs in the upper 50s, maybe some low 60s. A lot of mid and high level clouds, though. Here's the upper level low. Very easy to pick out here over Texas. A lot of fog across our region this morning, and we do have some dense fog advisories over much of the region this morning. But the wedge should gradually scour out today, and that's going to mean a milder day for most of us than what we saw yesterday. Now, severe weather concern with this system. Much of Mississippi, Alabama, southeastern Louisiana, the Florida Panhandle, under that slight risk of severe weather for today and tonight. And then there's your day 2 severe weather outlook. No formal slight risk, but a large C-text area. And I don't think severe weather is going to be a huge problem, but especially areas from roughly I-95, say down from there to about Columbia and over to the coast. That'd be, I think, the most favorable area for maybe a stronger severe storm later tomorrow. Today, again, we eke out a dry day here in our region, but tomorrow the soaking rains will be with us. It arrives as soon as later tonight. There is a early afternoon tomorrow, and then early evening tomorrow. So we'll have a good soaking rain event. A lot of us probably picking up over an inch of rain once again. Thursday, a mild day just ahead of the cold front with highs up toward the lower 60s, but then much colder Friday, back into the 40s for highs. Same deal on Saturday, sunshine but 40s for highs, maybe upper 40s or so on Sunday afternoon. And then Monday we moderate temporarily. This is the GFS before on Tuesday brings in the next system, and it's close to some wintry precip chances, but verbatim for the Carolinas, that's a rain event. But again, this is, I think, what we're probably going to see. Again, let me just reiterate, longer term, the core of the colder air probably stays docked up in this region, but we will have shots of cold air, and with the storm track staying active, maybe we can get something to line up at some point later this month. I think there will likely be some chances at some juncture. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching today's edition of the video. Have a great day, and God bless.